If you have the bug to write a memoir, there's just no other way out for you but to write it. If you have that bug, you will know what I'm talking about. Hi, I'm Shara Ogilvie. You've stumbled onto my vlog where I talk about the process of writing my memoir. I actually have lots of memoirs planned, but the one that I'm writing right now is about my trauma story. It has my childhood and my first marriage that were both very distressing, but they've made me who I am, and I'm grateful. So I want to share my wonderful story. But one of the big struggles I'm having right now is I do have to wade through all of the difficult things that happened in order to tell them. I can't just heal in a way where, say, I don't cry at night over my trauma anymore. I actually have to heal in such a way that I can calmly tell my story in a way that can serve other people, that can help them along. And that is a whole different level of evolution. I have been reading through my old journals, as I consistently have to do as I'm writing this first draft of my memoir. And every once in a while, I come across things that are really hard for me to write or talk about. Sometimes I come across things that it's like, not a big deal. I've been there, done that. I'm over it. We're good. But other times, I just feel so sad for myself. And one of the things that one of my friends told me the other day was that she feels it is a great service to other people that I'm willing to do this, that I'm willing to go back into the darkness and try to figure out the nuggets of wisdom and package it up in such a way as to help others who are perhaps behind me on that same path that I've traveled. That gave me a lot of courage, and I was so grateful to hear that because, the voices in my head say, you're crazy for even wanting to do this. But just as an illustration of some of the things that I read that are kind of distressing, I want to share with you, there are so many journal entries that just bring me right back to where I was. But here's one that I read the other day that just made me feel really sad for the situation I used to be in. It made me feel really grateful for where I am now, for sure. But just looking back going, I feel so much compassion for that human that used to be walking around in my skin, which was me. Here's a good example of the kinds of things I run across that just make me feel sad that I have to process through. So this was, 16 years ago when I really wanted a separation from my first husband, but I was very worried about the kids. I was worried about finances. I was worried about whether my husband, when we divorced, if he would be worse off. I was worried if we stayed together, if things would just continue to be more of the awful same. My husband at the time said that I was simply not choosing to be happy. So I'll read you a little excerpt from this, and just to kind of illustrate that how hard this is to walk through, and yet I need to walk through it so I can learn the lessons and share it with other people. So continuing from where I left off, I said, why is it that my husband is so happy when I am not happy? I think it would be easy to be happy too if I had a wife at home taking care of everything, and I knew I could leave for long periods of time and every need of the children would be filled. And even if some needs weren't filled, it wouldn't matter to me because I'm so cool and casual that I don't even care. I would love it for my husband to say, hey, I came home early tonight because I really want to give you the night off. So last night when we talked about a library night for me. This was something I'd been telling him forever that I would love, is just to be able to go to the library. I said that in truth, I would just be happy with a few hours in my room on a regular basis. I have to insert because I love to read and write, because I'm an introvert, because I get so overstimulated. I did with children. My husband said that was creepy, me being all locked up in my room. Why is he so concerned with me being creepy? He thinks I'm all depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm damn frustrated. And being in my room would be awesome, which is something he doesn't understand because he doesn't love to read and write the way I do. This really stood out to me because the husband I have now, I'm so grateful for him because he understands that my love of reading and writing is a strength. My desire to go to the core of the heart of the matter by pondering and sitting, in solitude is a gift that I have to offer. But my previous husband actually called me creepy. And that was really hard to read because at this point in my life, I have been able to really embrace who I am. I've had several years being single. I've had many years in my new marriage where I'm respected and loved. And just to go back and read that I was so desperate for time to myself. And when I tried to advocate for that, I was called creepy, was very painful. So as I have read journal entries like this, it's given me a double dose of feelings. One is just, it kind of triggers me. I feel sad for just in my gut for having been in that place. But the other feeling it brings up for me is a lot of compassion. Like, it's funny, the words that come up for me is like, I can't even imagine being that person. It was so long ago and I've come so far and I'm so grateful. But like, I think if I had a friend in that situation, I would feel so like worried for her. And yet that was me. That was my life for 18 years, was in a situation like that where my desires for just a simple bit of solitude was called creepy. Now, why am I sharing all of this with you? Well, clearly you're on my writing blog. I just want to update you on this journey that when you want to write your story, you have to be willing to go back into the darkness to crystallize the lessons so that you can give it to somebody else. And if all I did was like trauma dump that story in my writing, it's not going to serve anybody. I have to be able to see that from a higher plane. I have to be able to have not only compassion for myself, but to come to a place where I have compassion for my ex-husband as well and see more clearly. That is what I'm hoping to get to. And I truly want to do what my friend kind of indicated, that this could be a gift. If I'm willing to plumb the depths and come up with lessons that I can share, this can be a gift for other people. That is certainly my desire. I don't know any other reason I would ever drag myself through the mud like this, other than my concern for my sisters who are behind me on this journey, who are younger and more naive, and they haven't been where I've been. They haven't learned how to have their voice. They haven't learned how to self-validate. They haven't learned that life will give them what they demand, and if they put up with being mistreated, they will be mistreated. So as hard as it is to go back and wade through these things, that's my desire, is to turn it into a gift that I can give other people. So there's my update. And if you would like to follow along on any of my other social media platforms where I do lots of different kinds of things, then see my link in the description for my website where you can find how to hop on a newsletter or all my other social media. And I would love to connect with you. So feel free to subscribe and leave a message, and we will see you in the next video.